Hello, my name is Captain Rachel Yunin, and I am the Division for Self Protection Officer. I'm going to be providing a brief on noroviruses, a highly contagious virus, often referred to as stomach flu, when in actuality it has no relation to the influenza virus. So, what is norovirus? Noroviruses are a group of highly contagious viruses that cause gastroenteritis, marked by inflammation of the stomach and the intestines. Noroviruses are responsible for approximately 23 million cases annually in the United States, accounting for over 90% of non-bacterial GI outbreaks. You may have heard of noroviruses in the news. It's kind of synonymous with cruise ships. So to put this in perspective, a single cruise ship outbreak of norovirus can affect hundreds of passengers in the matter of hours. And this just demonstrates how rapidly the virus spreads within close quarters. Its resilience to environmental conditions makes it a challenge in our community and institutional settings. Some clinical symptoms of noroviruses include non-bloody diarrhea, nausea, vomiting, abdominal cramps, and the systemic symptoms are body aches, lethargy, headaches, and a low-grade fever. Vomiting is usually the most common symptom in children, whereas the predominant symptom seen in adults is diarrhea. Symptoms usually occur suddenly and which can sometimes cause dehydration within hours. So the incubation period for noroviruses is about 12 to 48 hours, with most outbreaks showing symptoms around that 33 to 36 hours after exposure. Illnesses fortunately generally resolve within 1 to 3 days, but contagiousness can persist for up to the 72 hours after those symptoms subside. Interestingly, the virus can be detected in stool for up to 2 weeks, allowing for those asymptomatic individuals to unknowingly spread the virus. This prolonged shedding of the virus is actually a critical reason why you have the recurrence of outbreaks, particularly in those high density environments such as nursing homes, military barracks, military tentage when we're in the field. This is just an overview of the path of infection. So the transmission. So norovirus spreads primarily through the fecal oral route and requires as few as 10 viral particles to cause an infection, which is an extraordinarily low infectious dose. Very few viruses require such a low infectious dose. It can also be spread through contaminated food, water, direct contact, and even aerosols generated via vomiting. So for instance, in one elementary school, one single sick child vomited in the hallway and caused an outbreak affecting over 100 students and staff. So this just emphasizes the virus's ability to spread via airborne particles and also puts concentration on why hygiene protocols are vital in preventing transmission. How serious is norovirus infection? Rarely life-threatening, but it can lead to severe dehydration due to the frequent vomiting and diarrhea, which it can affect the military's combat power because if one soldier becomes ill with norovirus, and we know how quickly it's transmissible, you can knock out a whole platoon within those, 48 hours, and that will have detrimental effects to combat power. Um, Generally, vulnerable populations such as young children, elderly, and immunocompromised face a higher risk of complications. And globally, norovirus only contributes to approximately 200,000 deaths annually. And these are primarily seen in those developing countries where their infrastructure is a little bit more archaic than what we see in the Western world. So some prevention and control, right? So it's pretty basic. Preventing norovirus actually begins with a robust hygiene practices. So hand washing is the number one way to prevent transmission of norovirus. And this is hand washing with soap and water for a minimum of 20 seconds. I would like to point out that alcohol-based hand sanitizers are useful, but they are not effective against noroviruses, and they can be used as a supplement to hand washing. Also, studies have shown that food handlers account for approximately 70% of outbreaks, and this is linked to contaminated food, which underscores the importance of proper hygiene in the kitchens, especially in military uh, kitchens or CKs when we're out in the field. So, on top of food hygiene, food safety is equally as critical. So, raw and undercooked shellfish are frequent culprits in norovirus outbreaks. If I remember correctly, there is a shellfish norovirus linked outbreak in I believe it's in Washington state right now. And this is because the virus can survive in the standard cooking temperatures. You always have to make sure you're washing fresh fruits and vegetables and sanitizing food preparation areas when we are out in one of our exercises, um, making sure we're eating from approved, DOD approved food and drinking DOD approved water is paramount. If not, then making sure that we are using the proper means to make our water potable. Some cleaning procedures for norovirus. As I've stated earlier, norovirus is actually fairly stable in most environmental conditions, and the best way to disinfect against norovirus is with household bleach. So the standard method is 5 tablespoons of about 6% bleach, which is your standard household bleach. I think it's like 6.25, mixed with a gallon of water for at least a 10-minute contact time. And this is the proven method to um, kill that virus and kill those virus particles on our fomites. So, in conclusion, norovirus is highly contagious but preventable in both the civilian and military environments. And this is through rigorous hygiene practices such as hand washing, following food safety protocols, and proper cleaning measures. You can significantly reduce its impact. While the symptoms are unpleasant, as I've stated, education and preparedness are best defenses against outbreaks. Please reach out to me. My email is on the first slide if you have any questions or concerns. Thank you.